or eliminate.
Like, subscribe, comment. What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Nate, That Talk Podcast, back with another one. I hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's killing it. I hope everybody's fired up in this season right now. We're about to come up on the end of the year. Don't wait till next year to start doing shit you know you need to do and you know you want to do. Start now. The year, the time, all that, it's irrelevant. It doesn't even exist. But today, listen, I got a good one today. I got a subject that's near and dear to me. I got a subject that's also very controversial. And before I even get into it, I want to lay some context out because I think context is so important. People should not be talking about, especially this day, man, where everybody's a fucking expert. People should not be talking about shit they have not been through or they have not done. So I want to lay the foundation. I'm going to talk about today, why as a man, you're sad. Why are you sad? Why are you feeling these feelings, right? Why are you letting these feelings break you down? Why are you being weak? Nobody wants to hear that. Okay? In my early 20s, started about 18 or 19, I bought into this lie that they tell us, right? Depression. I bought into it. I was fully immersed in the idea that a dark cloud had came over me, right? And it just wouldn't move. It was following me everywhere I go. You can't escape it. You can't get away from it, okay? And I actually ended up taking antidepressants for about 6 years. So I was medicated. Just want to say that before I even start talking. So where this all started, and this is going to be my first point. As a man, where you place your validation is probably the single most important thing to your mental health. Why do I say this? Right after I graduated high school, I was in a long-term committed relationship. Because of that relationship, I actually made the decision not to go play baseball, to stay home and be with my girlfriend. Something as a man you should never, ever do. And listen, I can't say it was a bad decision. I can't say it was a good decision. I did stay home. I did find the bike. So it was a positive there. But one thing that I did, I literally could have changed the trajectory of my life. And I based that decision not only around a woman, but based upon somebody else, okay? Which is something you should never, ever do. And I'm going to get to my first point. What I did was I placed all of my validation, all of the confirmation of who I was, all of the confirmation of my worth as a person within my girlfriend at the time, within someone else. Literally the stupidest thing you can do as a man. You are asking for detriment. You are asking for your own demise, placing your validation, placing all of your worth, placing all of your life decisions within somebody else, especially being so young of an age, 18, 19, 20 years old, whatever it was, okay? So then, not only do I stay home, the relationship actually goes to shit. I think she wanted me to go. I think this was going to be an out of this relationship for her. And since I stayed, the whole thing just went to shit. It started to fall apart. I could tell she was withdrawing from me. I could tell she was pulling away from me. And as this was happening, because I had placed my validation within her, within somebody else, my mental health started to decline. I started to spiral, okay? And then this is where the moment that I knew was coming. She left me. Broke up with me. It fucking destroyed me. Absolutely destroyed me. I literally didn't even know why. I literally couldn't do anything. And at the end of the day, I look back on it now and I was just being a pussy, plain and simple, okay? But what I had done on the back end and behind this is something that I want to explain to you guys, is that I placed, like I said before, my validation and my worth, who I was as a person. If you don't want me, I'm not worthy, all within somebody else. You, as a man, let yourself down on a daily basis. Say you're going to do shit, you don't do it, right? You say you're going to pull up, you don't do it. You say, I'm going to quit my 9 to 5 this year, you didn't do it. You say, I'm going to start a side hustle this year, you didn't do it. You let yourself down on a daily basis, okay? You know that other people are letting themselves down on a daily basis. So why the fuck would you ever expect somebody else to take care of you if they're not even taking care of themselves? That includes your mental health. That includes your physical health. That includes everything about you should never, ever, ever be placed on somebody else. But what I did is I placed all my validation in this relationship. So if the relationship goes, who am I? I'm nobody, right? Because this is who I am. I'm identifying within this relationship. And I've said this before on many podcasts, on many videos. I did the same thing with the bike. Okay? Something you should never do is place your validation, place your identity in anything other than yourself. And another point that I'm going to get into. But again, as soon as the bike was gone, when I got in my accident, oh, who am I? Fuck. I'm nobody. I'm a fucking nobody. Again, 5 years later, my mental health started to decline. I thought about killing myself multiple times. But to go back, this is a deep, deep moment in my life. I literally was so fucked up in the head that I bought a gun and I rode around with it, thought about blowing my fucking brains out. This is how powerful this concept that I'm trying to explain to you is. I don't want you to feel bad for me. I'm not asking for fucking sympathy, because now that I understand all these things, I think this is all bullshit. And then what I ended up doing is my parents saw me so fucked up, they got me into a doctor. Oh, fuck. The worst thing anybody could have ever done was get me to a fucking doctor in this time of my life. So what did they do? Oh, you're sad. Oh, the serotonin levels in your brain, they're off. We should probably give you a fucking pill. I wasn't tapped in. I had no idea about any of the shit that I know about now. I had went through absolutely nothing in my life. No fucking adversity, no physical adversity, no fucking mental adversity, no financial adversity. And boom, here I am. Sign me up. Take the fucking pill. Dumbest shit I could have ever done in that situation. Now, I took these pills for 6 years. Let me tell you, getting off them was hell. Why? Because they want you fucking addicted to them. They want a customer for life. If they can keep convincing you, right? Because what they try to say, here's the thing, is you should never be sad. You're fucking human. Why should you never be sad? Why can't these feelings, right? Why can't they come over you? I've completely changed my outlook on mental health, on depression, all this other shit, and I call it situational sadness. What does this do to the mind? If I say I'm depressed, if I identify with something, let's go back to identity. If I identify with something and I claim it, it's going to cast itself upon me. Not only that, but I'm going to do everything that categorizes a depressed person. Everything. I'm going to get in these little groups and we're going to talk about our feelings. We're going to talk about how sad we are and how bad life is and how hard it is, and nothing ever goes our way. Dumbest shit you can ever do is identify with something you don't want. Okay? I did another podcast on this and I called it attached to trauma or some shit like that. But you don't want this, right? You don't want the sadness. You don't want the depression, but you are on its side. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know how I feel. You're fucking defending it. Go on the opposite side. Nah, fuck you. I don't want this. I'm not about to let this happen to me. I'm too good for this. This whole entire time, I could have fixed myself instead of taking these fucking pills, standing in the mirror and reminding myself who I am under God, right? You're created in His image, right? You're a fucking savage. You're an animal. You're a fucking beast. Talk and action. But it started with the word. It says in the Bible, it started with the word. What you speak over yourself, life and death is in the tongue. Okay? Life and death is in the tongue. It started with the word. Take your validation away from people, away from places, away from things, and place your validation within yourself. How do you show up for yourself? I want to get to point number 2. Lack of purpose. How the fuck do you as a man, created to be a warrior, created to serve, created for mission, created for purpose, have none of these things and expect to be fulfilled? And understand this. Something about pain that I want to talk about here is that it's going to happen. Sadness, pain, all these things are unavoidable in life. But as a man, something you must understand, you are not trying to avoid pain. Okay? These are the guys trying to avoid pain that get caught up in chasing women, that get caught up in drugs, that get caught up in booze, that get caught up in going to the clubs, that get caught up in all this other shit. Why? Somebody told them they're not supposed to feel pain. Somebody told them they're not supposed to feel sad. So what are they doing? They don't want to be medicated, so they self-medicate and they run from it. You are not supposed to run from fucking pain. You are supposed to run at it. What they're not telling you is that if you're on mission, if you're in your purpose, if you're serving something other than yourself, bigger than yourself, God, children, women, a cause, all these other things, that the pain is going to be worth it. And that's the question that you want to know. Deep within yourself, you think, I got to avoid this. I got to get away from this because you're not doing anything fulfilling in your life. You're not doing anything that you think is worth it. You're not doing something that you would be willing to die for. And that's why you think you have to run from the pain because somebody fucking told you weren't supposed to feel it. Let's get this straight. You're going to feel pain in your life, especially as a man. Your life is going to be hard. If you are on purpose, it is going to be hard and it's going to be painful. If you're breaking generational curses, it's going to get bloody. If you're trying to gain financial freedom, it's going to get ugly. But on the other end of all these things, it's worth it. And that's what you want to know. The lie that they're telling you and the question that you have in your head now is, can I avoid this pain? Is there an escape from this pain? The true question within your spirit and within your soul is this pain going to be worth it? And the last thing I want to touch on, which kind of ties into the last thing about mission and purpose, is selfishness, okay? You are sad because you're constantly waking up every day thinking about yourself. You're self-absorbed. The first thing you do when you wake up is, oh my God, I'm tired, right? That's the first thing you fucking say. That's the first thing that comes out of your mouth. I'm tired. What does that mean? I'm going to go back to sleep because that's how I feel. I don't care about my mom. I don't care about my siblings. I don't care about my wife. I don't care about my kids. I don't care what their needs are. I don't care that we don't have enough money. I don't care that my wife doesn't drive a nice car. I don't care that my mom is still working. I'm tired. Selfish. Okay? Selfish. Then what? You get up, I'm hungry. Then what? I'm this, I'm that. I can't do this because I can't break through. I'm stressed. It's all self-absorption. You're so obsessed and so consumed with how you feel, you can't possibly serve somebody else, which goes back to mission and purpose. If you are dedicated to something greater than yourself, it's never about you. It's always about service. How can I be used? Okay? How can I be used? How can my body, how can my mind, how can my skills, how can my strong suits, how can these things all be used for the greater good, for the next generation, right? Or to serve somebody else. I only started this fucking podcast because I was miserable. I started this podcast because other people were going through this shit. And the only thing that gave me a glimmer of hope is when I spoke into myself. And so I wanted to start speaking into other people that were going through the same shit, that were going through the same confusion, that were being told and buying the same fucking lies that I bought in my early 20s. You need to be medicated. You got to run from the pain. You shouldn't be feeling the pain in the first place. All lies. I bought into all this shit. That's why I started doing this podcast, so I could spread the message, so I could spread the good word, so I could take what I learned and start helping other people with it. And I'm telling you, there's no greater satisfaction than going through a difficult journey, doing something hard, doing something difficult, doing something dangerous, doing something that other people want to do, and then sharing how you did it. There's no greater feeling than that, especially as a man. Why? You're giving back. You're being useful. You're being used. And I know that sounds weird, but understand this. Your soul will be awakened when you find something you are willing to die for. You go through the mission, you acquire the skills, you acquire the knowledge, you acquire the wisdom, and then you can be used for it. There's no greater feeling in this world than being able to serve and being able to give back. Once you get past all the self-absorption that you feel every day, you get past the lies that you're not supposed to be sad, you get past the question, how can I get rid of this pain? You stop buying into all the bullshit that they're trying to sell you, you will mentally be set free.